Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. This is Revell, and here I am doing some more work to my Revell 71 Olds 442W30 here. And my last video, I did some clear coating, so the body got the clear coat on it. It's been a few days. I started to do some detail painting to the interior. You've kind of seen this stuff before, so I didn't film a whole lot of that, but I'm going to do some more detail painting and touching up of this, and got some areas that I need to address on the console there, and start gluing the interior together, and we'll start working on the body a little bit more as I prep for other stages of it. So first we'll get this shaken up and mixed, and this is just Tester's flat brown. That's all it really is, tan brown, but it's just flat brown on here. But I like to use this a lot for wood. And I've got some on the console here, but I got a little bit of the chrome on there, so got it on there. So now it's time to just touch that up so it's a little bit more. Try not to get the paint in the chrome area again. Sometimes easier said than done, of course. There we go. This, I just got the decals to put on there, so I'll get those on. But this is pretty much painted and ready. Most of this is ready. If I haven't mentioned it before, I like to take the brush, put it in the corner, submerged in the cleaner, and spin it, but not put it all the way down. Kind of agitates it enough and cleans it. I find that works for me. I don't know if it'll work for you guys, or if you guys like the idea or not. Just tilted it a little bit more so you can see more of what I was doing there. But it does a pretty good job of cleaning the brush. This one, the tip's getting kind of worn. I don't know, my cheap brushes seem to last, but my expensive ones, they don't seem to. It's kind of funny. It's because, you know, I use these for the more detailed stuff, so may have to pick up some of the nice brushes that Hobby Nut Models carries as my sponsor and try some of those out. All right, let's do some gluing. Oh, gotta paint the cylinder on the back. Forgot about that. Put some chrome on the brush here and do it that way. There we go. As I mentioned before, I like to pick up my super glue with a toothpick. That way I'm not squeezing it directly on the paint of the model, or if it creates a bubble or splashes or anything, kind of helps limit those chances. Again, just something I like to do. All right, so that's in the channel. Let's put the 4-speed pedals on. All right. There you can see the chrome a little bit, and then the seats. Pedals. I noticed gluing the seats in first and then gluing the console in seems to work better on these because it where it swells up. And it just seems to lay down right in its place. Even though it really doesn't have any locating pins, it does seem to help on this one. There we go. So give that a minute while I look for the shifter. Let's see. All right. Getting this mocked up and ready for glue. Give that a little bit of time to dry. Realized I forgot to clean this brush. All right, got this, like I mentioned, cleared, ready. So now I'm gonna brush in here for the headliner, black all this out a little bit, right up under here. And I'll leave that, and then I'll get under here and some of this under the fender stuff where you might be able to see it. But I want to leave the green in here. I sprayed the green in here on purpose just to make sure it shows. Since the chassis is green, I want anywhere you might be able to see this. So that's why I made sure I got as much overspray in there as I could. Got my trusty tester's brush. I really don't have a reason for it, but I like to do this before I Bair Metal Foil, but I don't think it really matters which order you do it in, but that's just me. when it comes to the edges, I try to brush away. That way when you hit them, you don't put paint and drag it and scrape it off. So I try to go out so it doesn't scrape and get on the underside. But if it does, this clear is very forgiving and you can polish it right off, because the real automotive clear is really good about some of those things. Then once I get in the center, pretty easy to take care of this. Just checking to make sure I don't have any coming out the other side. No real reason to worry about it, but I do like to do the top of the fenders there like I just did and leave the green there. Sometimes it's visible with those big inner fenders. I don't think it is on this one. I'm just covering my basis and just in case it is. Definitely get the underside of this, because sometimes this is definitely visible when you look under and the radiator is under here, but sometimes you can still see this stuff. Right. You can see it's starting to dry into semi-gloss. I'll leave this side alone for a little bit, but that side is done. So we'll let that dry a little bit. And then now work on this. Airbrushing this would be better and easier, mostly. All right. The underside of the hood done. Give some of this a little time to dry. All right, let's move this over here, let that stuff dry. This is glued pretty good, so let's do this side now. Make sure the dash is gonna fit. We'll give that a little bit of time to dry and do its thing. And I'll get back to it here in a little bit as far as getting the decals on and continuing on with this. All right, continuing on with this, we're gonna put some decals on the dash here and get some more stuff done. Let's see, what should I start with first? Let's do the steering wheel emblem here. Get my setting solution in my brush. Oh, I gotta paint that white too, the shifter knob. All right, while we're getting this buttoned up, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Hobby Nut Models, which is sending me another package here real soon, which I'll reveal there. So if you have the time, check them out. There'll be a link in the video description below. And then, you know, some other things. And I'm going to get the firewall here. So the dash goes on. We'll get these parts glued together as well. And then I'll get some detail painting on the battery. But let's see here. I kind of cheated on the last battery. Since Delco is exposed there, I just sanded it and get it white. Just a little bit. Kind of gives it a milky white look. But then I went over with the gel pen, and that did the trick as well. All right, here we go. Decal's already on my finger. Boy, it wants to stick to my finger. Keep going. Get that kind of centered. I really need to get another toothpick, a fresh one. There we go. Just trying to really get that centered and upright there. So you can see that. Let that dry. I'm going to glue that on. And the 442 emblem next. Get a brand new toothpick here. Don't need this one anymore. Okay, work on this battery just a little bit more. A little hard to see there. Definitely hard to do under the camera. Maybe a little too much paint. Here we go. Okay, those are loose. All right. I'm just putting a dab of this so it'll be under the decal. Help suck it down. We'll work on that one first. Okay, there's one. Two. All right, so there's all the decals, and I'll let the setting solution get it to sit even farther down. So those are pretty much done. Okay, so let's put some of this stuff away. See how the hood came out. Came out good. Okay. Then to clean some of the black off. So you just, this is one thing about this clear that's very forgiving. It's easy to clean some of it off when you get it on the edge here, and you don't want it there. So see, pretty much just wipes it right off. There, I got the steering column in the right angle and everything there attached. Make sure I paint the shifter ball white before I forget. Nothing like realizing you forgot to paint that and you've got the car pretty much assembled. Did that recently with one of them. There we go. Get the battery cable painted. Let's see here. I pretty much finishes that other than gluing the dash and the firewall in. I'm sticking my thumb into some silver paint. All right, one of the last things I'm going to do here is paint this. All right, that's going to be Bair Metal Foil right there, so I'm not worried about getting paint right there. And then let's get the fan shroud and all that. Can't believe that slipped out of my hand and I didn't get my hand in the paint. So you see how the underside came out? Looking pretty good there. Now this is going to dry and do the same. All right, one last inspection of this. That's already starting to dry and dull. Okay, let this dry, and then my next steps are Bair Metal Foil, and then I'll start to put the windows in and get this ready. Get the sun visor and the rear view mirror in place, but get the body ready to start made into the chassis. And then same thing with this, a little bit of Bair Metal Foil on here and hood pins. The hood's just about done, get the hinges glued on. So, all right, so give that some time to dry. Let's glue these two pieces in and we'll call that done. I like to get it in place and then put the super glue in there. Need a little bit more. Oh. Put my finger right in the super glue. That's okay. I rub them together. That way I don't mess all that up. Now this is ready to be glued right there. So let's put glue right here. Just a tiny bit. Get that on there. And then now I'll put a little bit more right here on the sides. There we go. Now it's sitting where it's supposed to. All right, so that's done. And that's pretty much ready to be put on the chassis. So we'll call it quits for right now. And I'll get working on more of it a little later. But yeah, next couple of steps, Bair Metal Foil on that body and put the windows in. Start assembling the chassis. And this thing's going to be done here pretty soon. If I get more time on it to get going on that stuff. But I figured this will be good for you. I'll move this stuff a little more in screen. Sorry, I didn't realize it wasn't in view. But yeah, so that'll finish this for this particular session. So thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all of your comments. I do really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing if you're new to the channel and check out some of my other videos. So thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments. I really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, check out my other videos and everything and consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Saturday.